Ken Rosato, it is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234 to kick things off. Here is meteorologist Mike Favetta with the forecast near you. Well, buongiorno, Michele.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Ken. Happy May 5th. Starting off our Cinco de Mayo as we always do with a little look outside. Some beautiful weather expected today. Clear sky, lots of sunshine, a little sprinkle there moving through northern New Jersey. This was that light shower chance that I showed you yesterday. Saying, don't worry about it, but it actually is showing up here just in this little corner of northeastern New Jersey there, up along, say, Route 17, Route 4, up by the Parkway, as it works its way out through Bergen County right now. But that's it in terms of morning showers. The rest of the state is nice and dry and clear. That's also the case up and down the East Coast as we stay dry today. Another beautiful day, highs in the 80s. It'll actually feel more like a summertime day with the threat of a quick passing thunderstorm working through Warren and Morris County by the end of the evening. After that, the winds take over from the east. We get a cloudy overnight with a little bit of moisture working in for tomorrow. We start off tomorrow cloudy with some fog and then quickly see that rain overspread the state through late morning, early afternoon, and take us into tomorrow night. It's just a one-day event because we're back to dry conditions by Thursday. Still a little cloud cover early on in the morning. And then by Thursday evening, have a little bit of showers returning just in time to wrap up the day. But I think Friday starts off nice and dry and stays that way to wrap up the weekend. So again, the bigger view showing these storms lining up off to the west, and that's what gets us with some wet weather later on in the day tomorrow. So enjoy our dry day today. Highs in the 80s. We'll tell you more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Indeed, we will. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. In terms of temperatures, it's 50 degrees now in northern New Jersey, 56 in Trenton. Down the shore, Cape May, it's only 48 degrees, 52 in Vineland, Los Angeles, 57, San Diego, 58 degrees at this hour. We have a couple of things to talk about. 1 and 9, we have a crash northbound south of the 1 and 9 truck route, which is Pulaski Skyway in Newark. Right lane of 2 lanes and right shoulder currently closed as a result. We also have congestion right now, delays on the turnpike by the northbound exit ramp from interchange 15E, which is 1 and 9 in Newark, same area, likely the same cause. All lanes open. It is just due to volume at this hour. We check the Hudson River crossings into the Holland Tunnel 139 jamming already at this early hour. It's going to cost you 25 to 30 into Manhattan. The approach to the Lincoln Tunnel 495 Helix now is going to be 20 to 25 minutes. GWB upper and lower levels 8095 approach stopped. It is stopped. I don't know about those cars way on the left making it through there. I think they're sneaking on the shoulder, but otherwise everybody is stopped. So it's costing you right now about 40 minutes into Manhattan, upper level on the right, lower on the left. In Los Angeles, we have a traffic collision reported in South LA at the 105 in South Alameda. Traffic collision now on South LA, also on the 405 at Inglewood Avenue, and a crash that just happened in West LA on the 105 at Prairie Avenue. It's 4 minutes past the hour. A legend in New York broadcasting has died. John Sterling, whose incredible voice became the soundtrack of the lives of Yankees fans and who broadcast a record stretch of 5,060 consecutive games, has died. Sterling was the Yankees radio play-by-play voice for 36 seasons. He was on The Fan for years. He was behind the mic 5 World Championship teams, 7 American League pennant winners. Sterling retired just after the 2024 season began, saying he was just sick of traveling. He suffered a heart attack in January, but his official cause of death not announced. Rest his soul. John Sterling, great man, was 87. The man accused of starting the Palisades fire became fixated with Luigi Mangione in the lead up to the deadly blaze. 30-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht was obsessed with the accused healthcare CEO killer and had routinely searched, quote, free Luigi Mangione online before allegedly sparking the blaze that triggered the catastrophic fire. Rinderknecht, an Uber driver, also ranted to his Uber customers about Mangione's arrest. Rinderknecht pleaded not guilty to federal arson charges for sparking the inferno that leveled 7,000 homes and businesses, caused $150 billion in damages, and left 12 people dead in 2025. He's been held behind bars since his arrest in October. U.S. forces yesterday sank 6 small Iranian boats that were threatening ships stuck in the Strait of Hormuz, as President Trump warned that the Islamic Republic would, quote, be blown off the face of the earth if it interferes with efforts to reopen the waterway. Iran has typically deployed up to 40 small boats in the strait, but yesterday there were only 6 and they were quickly destroyed by U.S. forces. On Sunday, President Trump announced the U.S. would move maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz since it has been backed up for months from the start of Operation Epic Fury on February 28th. It is 6 minutes past the hour. An Obama-appointed D.C. federal judge described as an America-hating Muslim apologized yesterday to President Trump's would-be assassin, Cole Allen, saying the suspect's jail conditions are too harsh. That's right. A U.S. magistrate judge is apologizing to a guy who on videotape tried to kill the president and all the members of the U.S. press corps and the president's cabinet. U.S. Magistrate Zia M. Faruqi told Allen he's sorry the suspect had been held under suicide watch, despite the fact that Allen threatened suicide. Yeah, he posted online that he expected to be dead. He showed pictures of himself armed to the teeth with a shotgun, handguns, and knives, and that he said he didn't think he would be coming back from what he allegedly expected to be an assassination at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. D.C. federal prosecutor Jeanine Pirro immediately blasted the judge's comments. Meanwhile, Secret Service agents shot a man during a gunfire exchange yesterday right near the White House in yet another incident. In this case, it wounded a child who happened to be in the area. 7 minutes past the hour. Homes are extremely expensive in California, but there's a town about 6 hours north of San Fran that might be the only affordable spot left on the Golden State's coast. Crescent City, a town of about 7,000 people, is in California's northernmost county. The average price for homes near the beach there, $353,000. Pretty good. While the homes are far cheaper than the millions of dollars the people would have to spend in other coastal cities like Santa Monica, it's still expensive for the residents who live in the area and have higher than average poverty rates. The World Cup coming to northern New Jersey in a few weeks, but some of the region's most famous neighborhoods feel left out because the Italian team failed to qualify for the tournament. The region's enormous Italian-American population is very upset as the national team of their ancestors let them down for the third cup in a row. The Italian national team previously missed the 2022 and 2018 World Cup tournaments. The World Cup is set to kick off June 11th with 48 teams, but not the Italian team known as the Azzurri. That means the blue. Thousands of tourists from all over the world are expected to visit the area, with 8 games to be played in northern New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, now called New York, New Jersey Stadium. A New York State recycling bill is calling for dozens of companies to stop using plastic wrap when packaging products like toilet paper and diapers, which critics warn could leave crucial everyday items like that without a realistic way to package them, because absorbable or absorbent products like toilet paper get moldy and soggy if they're not wrapped in plastic. The proposed Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act would require companies to phase out non-reusable packaging. Several states have similar green packaging programs, and some countries do as well, mostly in Europe. Manufacturers would be required to reduce their non-green packaging by 10% within 3 years and 30% in 12 years. Are you rolling your eyes in the back of your head yet? Companies that don't or can't comply would be fined, and guess who gets to pay those fines? The companies aren't. They will pass that on to the consumer. 9 minutes past the hour. Area 51, the secluded federal land based in Nevada where UFO enthusiasts believe space aliens are being held, has experienced at least 17 earthquakes in a single day this week, with stumped experts admitting the behavior is highly, quote, unusual. The secretive Nevada Air Force Base was hit by comparatively shallow quakes, prompting conspiracy theories about nuclear testing. The cluster of earthquakes ranged in magnitude from 2.5 to 4.4 and struck near the base, which is about 80 miles from Las Vegas. A French man allegedly abused a sleeping woman next to whom he was sitting in the first-class cabin of a Miami-bound flight, and then returned to leave her a creepy note. That's right, weird. 48-year-old Guillaume Sébastien Roger Matler faces a count of abusive sexual contact for the incident that occurred last Tuesday on Swiss International Airlines flight LX64. Matler and a 29-year-old woman whom he did not know just happened to be seated next to each other on their way from Florida to Zurich. The woman dozed off during the long flight, it's like a 9-hour flight, when 2 other passengers claimed they witnessed the French national inappropriately touching the woman going under her dress with his hand as she was sleeping. When the flight attendant woke the woman to tell her what the guy was doing, allegedly, she began to shake and cry, saying she didn't know him. When Matelet was returned to his seat, because they removed him, obviously, to interview the woman, they returned him to the seat to gather his belongings to move him somewhere else. He then allegedly tried to hand the victim a note that said, quote, "You look beautiful when you are sleeping." Creepy? Yeah. Prosecutors in Miami are keeping him behind bars as he is considered a flight risk. Pam, if you don't mind, do you have the? Oh, actually, you don't have video of this. I'll just talk about this. Sorry, Pam. I'm confusing everything because I haven't had my coffee yet. Right here. So last night, I had the opportunity to be the MC of this incredible event in Manhattan. It is for an organization called the Jericho Project. Jericho Project is 4 decades old. It was founded by 2 Episcopal churches, believe it or not, in Lower Manhattan, and they're still involved in it, although it's a non-religious group. This is a video that they put out. They help homeless people in New York City. They don't just give them like shelter for a night. They actually get them a real apartment. They give them the keys. It's for a limited time, but it's to get them back on their feet. And not just that, they get them jobs, they get them educated, they get them in drug and alcohol programs, they give them therapy and counseling. They literally become the family that many people who are homeless don't have. That's part of the problem. They don't have a safety net or security net. And this organization, the Jericho Project, had me on the verge of tears at how beautiful they are and what they do. So they, at any given year, they're helping 3,000 people every year in Manhattan to get into a home and to transition from being homeless to being participating citizens of society. There was a guy there last night named Craig, sweetheart of a man, who was for like over a decade on the street drug abuser, and they got him a place to stay, got him off drugs, and now he has a college degree. Unbelievable. Help him out if you can. 13 minutes past the hour. When we come back, students from New Jersey making their mark in the world of STEM. We will explain. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. We're back in 2. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Tuesday, live in New Jersey and New York, and now we welcome our friends in Los Angeles and San Diego. 15 minutes past the hour, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Now, look at that. There he is. We welcome in our friend, meteorologist Mike Favetta. Look at this. I could pull him right into the picture. Watch. Something. It's like
It's okay.
magic with I
I'm
just
not sanitizing bottles and binkies and all those things right now in the kitchen. Definitely not doing that as you were
listen,
looking for me.
I want to let you know that your new son Enzo, your little
Mm.
baby, has been texting me. Why are you giving a 2 week old a cell phone to text with? But he already knows how to text, which I found very impressive. Unless
Don't
it's
say
somebody
that
else named
because
Enzo.
at 16 months old, Antonino does that. We already caught him dialing the emergency button. Then we hear like the Android whoop 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 because he's hitting the side button 5 times to
Oh
hit up
my
emergency
God.
contacts. Oh yeah, little
I love
rascal.
it.
I know. I knows how to hit the end button too on FaceTime. That's a problem. So be sure you're entertaining. Otherwise, he'll just end that call right away. Well, I'm trying to be entertaining here with the weather. Try to give you something to look forward to because after some rain tomorrow, gets a little wet around here and gray. We have a beautiful day ahead, though, lots of sunshine, beautiful clear air. But as we head into the middle of the week, look at these showers that return by tomorrow afternoon, working their way across New Jersey, giving us a good soaking. We're quiet after that throughout Thursday with just clouds. Friday clears up nicely, but Saturday has another round of showers. These may come later in the day if you maybe have any early Mother's Day plans. Also, again, some rain Sunday night, maybe after any Mother's Day brunch outings. So looking ahead, it is a little bit cooler than going into the next few days after yesterday and today, where highs were in the 80s yesterday, 80s once again today, but that little bit of a breeze ushering in some chilly weather by the end of the week. And then we finish out the week rather wet. These are the showers and storms that come in later on tomorrow afternoon and linger into tomorrow night, likely getting another round by the end of the week. So it's all of these showers along a front that approaches us, gives us cooler conditions, and that's really the trend going into the next probably 7 to 10 days. Cooler than average weather after we love this really warm spell that we've enjoyed yesterday and again today. As we head into the weekend, there you see these showers lined up one after the next, heading toward New Jersey going into Mother's Day weekend. However, out west, look at how gorgeous it is. Big high pressure, keeping all of the west coast nice and clear. We'll give you more details on that part of the forecast, Ken, coming up with your next weather update.
I'm sorry. All right, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I was busy zooming in my camera. Let me zoom out a little. I think I went a little too tight. There we go. It's a little better, right? There we are. It's just forgive us, folks. Eventually, we'll get this TV thing
We'll
going.
get it
We'll
right.
figure it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to dwell on this again. I talked about it before. This place that I went to yesterday. I don't know if you heard me saying last night. This event called the
It
Jericho
sounds
Project.
lovely. Yeah, really,
I
really
mean,
incredible.
they had a guy, a fundraiser that like an
Hmm.
auctioneer, a British guy, sharp British guy. I wish I had his name off the top of my head. In a matter of now, you've been to these fundraisers, right? You've been to
Uh,
fundraisers where the whole object of these dinners is to get you to donate money.
yeah,
Obviously, it's the only
right.
way, the only way they can make money to run these organizations. And in the room, there were a lot of big hedge fund people, a lot of
Okay.
like Ernst and Young and E&Y they
Yeah, yeah,
call them
yeah.
now, and all these other banks. And I thought, oh, maybe he'll raise about 20, 30 grand. This is great. This is exciting.
No.
Over $250,000
I've seen people
in
drop 50 grand like that at these auctions.
that's what he
Uh-huh.
did. He said,
Like
"Let's
like
start
like
out
it's a
with
hundred dollar
30,000. Who
bill.
could give me 30?
Oh
Who could
yeah.
give me
Uh-huh.
30?" I was like, "What?" There were
Everyone.
three people gave him $30,000. I was like,
Yep.
"Okay, I am in negative $6 on my credit card right now, okay?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's good." Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's when
Mm-hmm.
you nervously take the glass of water and you drink when they're looking at you.
Right.
You're like,
Yep.
"I'm here to MC." Um, but it was fascinating. But nonetheless, if anybody does want to donate, you don't have to donate 30,000. $5, $2,
Sure.
$10. I'm serious. Just if you wait till a certain time of the year to make a donation, the Jericho Project, the gala was called Celebrate 2026 Bridges to Independence because of the holistic approach to the way they get these people out of homelessness, off of drugs and alcohol, and in training and school and back to life. They literally don't stop until that person is back in society.
Wow.
Mind blowing. This needs to be a real program. I mean, when I say real, I mean not a private program. Why can't
Yeah.
we be doing this in society on the
Yeah.
whole? And by the way, they did a comparison. What does it cost to put somebody in a jail cell for a year versus in one of the
Oh, sure.
apartments? It's like 18,000 in the apartment and like 110,000 in the jail cell.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sorry, just had to talk about it. I know you got weather to do, but I had to share. They're just great people. Thank you, Michael. It
You
is
bet.
now 54 degrees in northern New Jersey, 56 in Trenton. Just quick traffic to talk about. Really, not a lot of delays. The only thing we really have to mention is one incident on 1 and 9. There's a crash northbound south of the Pulaski Skyway in Newark. Right lane of two lanes on the right shoulder are closed. Hudson River crossings right now. Lincoln and Holland both reporting 25 to 30 minutes in. GWB upper and lower level. It's getting heavy right now with 35 to 40. You could see the upper level on the right, lower level on the left, and that's jamming 35 to 40 minutes in. Only collision to really tell you about on the West Coast is the 110 at PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, South LA. There's a crash they're working on to tell you about. It is 21 minutes past the hour. From building and coding industrial sized robots to competing on a global stage, there's a group of New Jersey students making its mark in the world of STEM. The FIRST, that is an acronym, FIRST, championship in Houston, brings together top young talent from around the globe, and Garden State students are right in the mix. Arjun Bhatt is the team captain of FTC Team 26014, to be specific, Ninja Botics, based in Princeton. I love that team name. That's really cool. Did you just pick that?
Actually, the team name is Coin Impending 30439.
I love it. Well, they had, you know what they had on the webpage. They gave this other one. I'm sorry about that, but the
Uh,
first leadership award finalist. That's you. That is you. That
yes.
is a huge deal, Arjun Bhatt. Congratulations. Great to have you on. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah. Feel. Thanks so much for having me today.
You bet. So you got to tell us what first sparked your interest in robotics.
So like first sparked my interest in robotics was I was really fascinated with like engineering, and I was like always loved building Legos and building different things. And when I got to FTC, I got to see all these metal parts and these robots, and just seeing them move around on the field was really fascinating. And I just knew from that day that this is what I want to pursue, and I want to be an engineer. I want to build cars and do all that stuff. So this is a great place to start with. So just seeing big robots and building them and 3D printing parts and cutting out metal things off of a CNC machine was just really fascinating. That's what really got me interested.
So I have to ask you because when I was at NYU a gazillion years ago, I remember a friend of mine was into robotics. We're talking about the 1980s and 1990s. You were not even a concept yet, and robotics was in its infancy. And I remember a friend of mine saying it's all about servos, servo motors, and I was like, "Why do you, what's a servo motor?" He's like, "Just picture a robot is just dozens of little motors that are programmed by a computer to do things, but it's just a matter of thinking what each motor does." And is that is that still what it's based on today?
So today, they still use servo motors. Servo motors have been used for a very long time. Same thing with DC and AC motors. Our robots, they run off of DC motors, which are direct current. So it takes power straight from a battery, and servos do the same thing. Just the main difference between those two motors is that a servo is meant for like it's a smaller motor. It's meant for smaller tasks. It can't really do any heavy operations as compared to a DC motor or an AC motor where it can handle bigger tasks. And like some examples that DC and AC motors are like in like if you have a power drill or any power tools, you have an
Right.
example of those motors. And then servos are literally like anywhere you can find them in any small tasks. Door openers, door stoppers, you can make servos out of those.
Amazing. Listen, let me just say this. I am very happy that the future of America is in your hands because you know about a gazillion times more than anybody from my generation. God bless you. Look, as a team captain and leadership award finalist, what's the journey been like for you personally? Because that's a lot of weight on a person's shoulders.
Yeah, so I've been about a team captain. This is my second year being a team captain, and the journey has been very tough and very difficult because I was a team captain last year in ninth grade, and I was captaining a bunch of juniors. I captained one 12th grader, and there was hardly anybody who was my age. So being able to control and lead a team who are older than me and like gain people's respect was extremely difficult. So you definitely have to pull your own
Yeah.
pull your own weight, and you have to show everybody why they should trust you and why you should lead. So you always have to have like everyone's best interests at heart to make sure that everyone is catered for. And being a first leadership award finalist, this is something that I've been working towards. Like ever since I found out that this is an award that I can win, and it embodies how you like volunteer and like serve first. So I volunteer at many first competitions. I mentor many kids. I do a lot of STEM outreaches. I do a lot of outreaches where I gain kids to come to my center. I do free STEM lessons at my center where I teach them computer aided design. That's where you can design stuff on a software. I
Mhm.
teach them coding. I teach them building, right, and anything just to get kids more interested into STEM. And I did this because I really wanted to get more kids interested in STEM, and it also helped me towards my leadership award finalist for New Jersey.
Amazing. And you so eloquently can describe everything. A lot of people, you're only 16. Is that your age?
I'm 16. I'm 10th grade.
Unbelievable. A lot of people under say 18, a lot of times can't explain anywhere near as eloquently as you can. You're just amazing, Arjun. And what was your experience at the first championship? And I know first is an acronym. What was that experience like? Were you nervous when you first got there?
So, one thing about the first championship is that I've been working towards that for my whole life so far. I started first in third grade, and the one thing I always thought of is that I wanted one day to go and compete in the championship. It's the world championship where a bunch of teams around the world come there and you get to compete. And that's the one thing I've always wanted to do. And fortunately, I got to do that this year. The experience is just surreal. I mean, I go on the field. You have a bunch of lights. There's big cameras over there. You're on live television on YouTube. You have a bunch of teams around the world, right? If I had to explain a little more, is that there's teams from Romania, and these Romanian teams are like the best teams in the whole world. And just being there, competing with them, talking to them, exchanging phone numbers so you can talk with them in future to get help. I mean, that's just like an experience. And I see all these other different robots besides mine. I see so many different aspects of what people can do and how teams can like plan and innovate new robots. It's just like really amazing. I get to see everything because sometimes I forget that other people also do it and they're also like doing a lot more. So I want to see what they're doing so I can improve like whatever I'm doing. So that's like the best thing I found
I
when
got
I
work
went
for
to
I
the
got to step on you only because we're about to hit a commercial, Arjun. But let me tell you, if I were the Romanian students, I'd be saying you better watch out for the American team because they got Arjun Bat. That's who I would be worried about. You're an amazing man, young man, and God bless you. And your parents must be so thrilled and so proud. First Leadership Award finalist, team captain Arjun Bat. Come back again, and thank you for coming on this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. I mean, wow. This kid he's 16. Oh my God. I just like I feel so inferior. This kid is unbelievable. What good parenting. 28 minutes past the hour. When we come back, testicular cancer may not be a topic that a lot of people feel comfortable talking about, but it should be and must be spoken about. It's one of the most important health conversations young men can have. We'll talk about it in 2 minutes. Don't go away. Good morning, 31 minutes past the hour, Tuesday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West Coast. Meteorologist Mike Favetta joins us with a forecast near us, near everybody. Sir, I watched this young man, Arjun Bhatt, we just had on a minute ago,
Yeah.
talk about beyond brilliant. And he's so eloquent and he can communicate. How many young people can communicate what he does as eloquently as he can? Mind blowing.
It was very interesting. Who knew about AC versus DC servo motors, right? So much early tech robotic jargon at 7:30 on a Tuesday.
Unreal, unreal. I hope it sounds like he's a well-rounded individual. I hope he
Yep.
is. We didn't get into that part of it, but just
hmm
amazing, great parenting. Talk about great parenting. As I know, you have your hands full now with two little ones, but
Well,
that's amazing.
robotics
America's
are the
in
future.
good
Yeah.
hands.
Yep,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Anyway, I
We've got
bow to you,
some
sir.
amazing weather on the way. Robots and rain don't mix, though, especially as we head into tomorrow with the wet weather that comes in all across the Northeast. It's along this front that will drive in a little bit of a westerly breeze, cooling us down as opposed to the 80s we'll enjoy today. And then with that wet weather lingering into Thursday and Friday, we'll see the pollen finally go down. Felt like my eyes were about to pop out of my head yesterday. The pollen was so high, especially with the trees and the grasses, the breezes blowing all of those allergens around. They are now starting to get a little bit better into the rest of the week. And you can thank a lot of this wet weather off in the Midwest and West that works its way eastward throughout the course of the day into tomorrow, arriving here in New Jersey by tomorrow afternoon. And then there's some showers right now out in Southern California that are ultimately working their way eastward by tomorrow. So some of these storms are actually a little severe. You can see the line of red there, pretty potent through the Midwest. As that works its way east, you'll see those the intensity diminish, but the showers will still be there, and that wet component giving us some wet weather into the end of this week. Out west, I told you before, we take a check of the West Coast forecast, and here it is. Look at the clearing that occurs by tomorrow afternoon. So one more day of clouds today for you out in Southern California, and then it all dries out with that marine layer being pushed out to sea. Lots of sunshine on the way throughout Thursday and Friday as that big high pressure swings into play, giving you beautifully dry conditions this upcoming weekend. We'll take a check of the drought situation across the country and let you know the longer term trend of how temperatures are faring nationwide. That's coming up, Ken, in a few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate that, sir. 34 minutes past the hour. Temperature is 50 in northern New Jersey, 56 in Trenton. It's 57 in Los Angeles and 56 in San Diego right now. You know what? We just had a camera to show you. Pam, I think the camera just went out. Oh, no, it came back. It came back. Check this out. This is being reported. This is on the Turnpike. This is being reported as a disabled vehicle. I don't think that's a disabled vehicle. Looks like the guy was trying to switch the guy, whomever, we don't know if it's male, female, trying to switch lanes by the toll booth and drove up on the island, the separator, the divider. See that? And it looks like they have a flat and they're stuck now on the divider. So that's causing cars are still getting by. They're like, dude, get out of my way, dude. I got to go to work. They're not even slowing down. They're like, sorry. But maybe that's the guy right there. Oh, that's a cop. Yeah, somebody's getting a ticket, I think. Just it's like, let's see. I'm sorry, Pam. You gotta give me a second. I need to see how this is going to end up. This is fascinating. Somebody getting a ticket, a little conversation. How did you end up driving up on this island, sir? Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, no one is hurt and everything is okay. That's all that matters. But nonetheless, that is on the Turnpike. Should also let you know, Turnpike rather at exit 11. I'm sorry, interchange 10 by Route 40, 440, 287 Edison. Anyway, that's exit lane 9 specifically. We have a crash on 78 westbound west of exit 48. Route 24 west in Springfield, left lane is closed. Another issue on the Turnpike right now, it is entering at interchange 11 by the Garden State Parkway Woodbridge with a toll lane blocked. That's a separate one from this, but that toll lane is a separate issue that I just told you about. We have a crash 1 and 9 northbound by the Pulaski Skyway. Right lane and right shoulder are blocked, and your approaches to the Hudson River, Lincoln and Holland both reporting 25 to 30, and the GWB upper and lower levels now slow. Very, very slow. In fact, 40 minutes in, the upper level on the right, lower level on the left. To Los Angeles, we go. Just a couple of crashes to tell you about. Actually, I'm wondering if there's a weather situation there. We'll have to ask Mike because all of a sudden I have 9 crashes. A minute ago, there was nothing. And usually that means there's rain because LA doesn't deal with rain well, as you people in LA know. We have a crash on the 710 at Willow Street off ramp in South LA. Also in South LA, there's a collision on the 405 at 710. We have a collision on the 110 at Pacific Coast Highway, all South LA, and a collision at the 105 in South Alameda, South LA. So everything is South LA. I'm wondering if there is rain happening there. It's only 4:36 in the morning, so we'll check that out. It is now, as I mentioned, 36 minutes past the hour, 7:36 East Coast time. Testicular cancer may not be a topic that many feel comfortable talking about, especially men, but it is one of the most important health conversations that men can have, especially young men. During Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, experts are emphasizing that early detection can make all the difference. Dr. Mina Pham is Director of Uro-Oncology at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center and Director of Robotic Surgery at Hackensack Meridian Ocean University Medical Center to help break down what men and their families need to know. Good morning, Dr. Pham.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
And you as well. Isn't it great? We had a young man talking about building the robots that could very possibly help you do your surgery.
Amazing young man, bright, confident. It was amazing to see. So
Eloquent, unbelievably eloquent. So please tell us about testicular cancer because it's something even I'm a 59-year-old man. That's something that even my pediatrician, when I was a kid and a teen, I don't remember ever having a conversation with him. But this is something that we need to talk to young men about.
absolutely. Testicular cancer in general is not a very common cancer. It affects 1 in 250 men. But it is the most common cancer in young men ages 15 to 35. So it's a real health concern for that age group.
That is amazing. Oh, well, let's get right to it then. What are things that men should look for? What are the symptoms that they might experience?
In general, the most common sign is feeling a painless mass in their testicle. So it's really important for these young men to examine themselves, usually once a month in the shower to see if there's a difference in their testicle, a lump. And usually it's painless. A lot of people think because they don't have many other symptoms that it can't be anything serious, but that's not the truth.
That's amazing. And but now, I'm sure there are a lot of young people who may have never done a self-exam like that. Should they talk to their doctor and see exactly what they should be feeling for? Because maybe they'll feel, that it's one thing. You know where I'm going. That it's one thing to feel the
Yeah,
testicles
of course.
in a day-to-day basis, but then what am I looking for specifically in palpability? Should they talk to their doctor? And maybe at their next exam, the doctor can explain if this changes at all, this is what you should do.
Definitely. I think the first time they go to their doctor when they should get checked out, and the doctor will kind of help them feel around and see what feels normal and what doesn't.
Mhm.
Typically,
Yeah.
the testicle should be smooth on each side. There is some structures in the testicle which you can feel but are normal, and so it's important to be able to differentiate that.
Gotcha. And there's, of course, the tubes that come out, and so that might be confusing for somebody who doesn't understand. But that's how the sperm obviously comes out from those tubes. But when feeling that, I'm sure the doctor can guide them through. If somebody does notice something unusual, though, right away there would be panic, I'm sure, for people. Um, how rapidly does testicular cancer spread, and how soon should they get to their doctor if they suspect something?
Absolutely. So the first step is always, if you feel something, go to your doctor, get checked out. Usually it's diagnosed with a simple ultrasound. And then, surgery does happen relatively quickly because testicular cancer, as you alluded to, can move quickly. That being said, it's also very highly treatable. Even in cases of spread, cure rates are extremely high.
So is it because I'm sure the fear right away is, will I end up sterile? Is there a chance of sterility if it's not caught early enough?
Typically not. In most cases, we're removing one testicle. The one testicle on the other side can provide fertility testosterone, and normal sexual function. So that's, another misconception. A lot of young men believe if they get surgery, if they have the testicle removed, that they won't function normally, and that's not the case.
Yeah, I have at least one friend I know who used to talk about the fact that he was born. A lot of men are born with one testicle anyway. I have one kidney. I mean, there's a reason why sometimes we have that duplicity, if you will. We have an extra. God gave us the extra for a reason. But yes, one works just fine if necessary. Well, what is a website, doctor, for more information? And of course, we're still urging people talk to your doctor when you go for your checkup. But what's a website so people can read more?
HackensackMeridianHealth.org, where you can find experts that treat testicular cancer like myself, and guide young men who may be embarrassed to get themselves checked out. Really important that they do.
Yeah, the embarrassment lasts about a tenth of a second, and then you get over it, right? I mean, I remember just speaking, first time I went to a urologist, right? That embarrassment, that sense of discomfort lasts a second, then you realize that's not what we're here for medical reasons. And but I know a lot of young men might feel uncomfortable. Just go. It could save your life. Doctor, it's great to
Absolutely.
have you on. Right? It's so essential. And then maybe they'll talk to their friends about it too and get them to be checked. Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Talk to your medical professional about any questions you may have. Dr. Mina Pham, Director of Uro-Oncology at Hackensack Meridian Jersey Shore University Medical Center, Director of Robotic Surgery at Hackensack Meridian Ocean University Medical Center. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you.
You bet, doctor. It is 43 minutes past the hour. When we come back, what does it really mean to see? We're going to talk with one person who lost her eyesight as a teen and what it's been like to live life differently. We're back in 2. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 45 minutes past the hour, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast for your city. Good morning, Mike. Little passing shower in New Jersey?
Yes, and you mentioned out in LA there were some big accident or 9 accidents in that small area.
9.
You
Yep.
mentioned there were some light showers. So let's take you over to the radar right now, down in Southern California, where you'll see here, this is the future cast from before. I wanted to start from the beginning, zoom into Southern California, and you can see some light showers there working through the area right there, coming in off of the water. That's a little bit of the trough, a bump in the atmosphere, if you will, that's creating some of those showers and really coming down. I mean, a little bit of light rain in California doesn't take much to make those roads slippery, even though they're just wet, because it's usually very dry. And so just a little more than a light shower is all it takes to help some of those oils there from the pavement start to bubble up, run on the surface, and there you go. You get some very slippery conditions. Now, our forecast today has a warmer trend that takes over into this afternoon, but it cools down right after because there's another cool shot of air that arrives behind this front after the rain tomorrow and the clouds that linger and hang around throughout the day on Thursday. So we'll show you that with the future cast, showing most of the wet weather pushing through by the end of the day, I think going into Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, who's calling? See, what did I tell you before about Antonino knowing how to use the phone? Yes, that's him calling right now while his mother's sleeping. So that's going into the next few afternoons. We have a little bit of that wet weather that takes over, giving us some more of those showers by the end of the day. So I will go answer the phone, as this child will probably not stop calling until Papa picks up. So I'll see you back in a few minutes with the New Jersey. Oh, okay. I think his mother finally woke up. He stopped. This is what
Ah,
happens. And he knows how to unlock it too. We have to put the passcode because he knows how to unlock it. Hmm.
I I could watch this. This segment stays on the website. You know that this is going to stay on the website forever. When your kids are like 22 and
Uh-huh.
23, they look back and laugh. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Look at what
Hmm.
we did to Daddy when he was on TV. You are the best, Mike. All right, sir. We'll check back. Go check out that phone. Oh my
Yeah.
God, too cute. We need new pictures. We need new pictures. Baby Nino and baby Enzo. Well, Nino is now 16 months. Enzo is what, 16 days. So we'll take a look at those pictures soon. It is 48 minutes past the hour. In terms of temperatures, 56 in Trenton. It is 51 northern New Jersey. And then down by the shore, it's 49 degrees in Cape May because of the ocean temps being a little cooler. West Coast, California, Los Angeles, 57 degrees, 57 also in San Diego. In terms of traffic, we have a problem on I-78 right now. Local lanes westbound east of exit 49, which is Springfield Ave and Union Township, left shoulder and left lane closed. And look at what the result is. We have bumper to bumper traffic. That's going on for about 2 miles. Just an absolute mess. We have issues right now. 1 and 9, a crash northbound south of the Pulaski Skyway in Newark with the right lane and right shoulder closed there. And over to the Hudson River crossings we go. The Lincoln Tunnel now reporting 35 minutes. The Holland. Do we have 139, Cam Pam? If you could bring up 139, if you don't mind. This is the approach from the turnpike to the Holland Tunnel. Now starting to get really heavy. So we'll take a look at that. I just saw it on my camera here. There we go. And that is the approach right there on 139, making your way to the Holland Tunnel. It's now 35 minutes in. GWB upper and lower levels. Thank you, Pam, for that. Upper and lower levels, 8095 approach to the GWB. Also jamming. We got 40 to 45 minutes in. Upper level on the right, lower on the left. That's not even moving. That's really bad. In fact, let's see. Oh, there's why. We have a crash. Yeah, we have a crash. It's saying, yep, upper level, eastbound 1A. Yep, right lane blocked. That's why. So good thing Pam says, go look down at your list. Truck with cars on it. Yep. So it's a tractor trailer that carries transporter that carries vehicles. So that is a problem. So now you have no movement at all on the approach to the GWB. What a mess. Okay. All right. In terms of Los Angeles now, as Mike was talking, there is rain that came through Southern California. So it's 4:50 a.m. We had, you see that list? I know you can't read it, but just you could see how many lines there are. Usually at this hour, I get 1 or 2 accidents. I have 11. I'm not going to read them all. I'll just give you the top 3 here. But just so that you're aware, if you're watching us on LACA or California channel, rain causing the roadways to be slick because a little oil buildup, over like months of no rain. All of a sudden they get a little rain and this happens. So we have a collision now in South LA on the 405 at the 710. There is an accident on the 101 at Laurel Canyon Boulevard and an accident on the 710 at Willow Street off-ramp in South LA. And there are a number of other accidents. So we will keep you abreast on that. 50 minutes past the hour. What does it really mean to see? For some, it's about eyesight, but for others, it's about perspective and how we choose to move forward when life changes in an instant. After losing her vision as a teen due to a rare retinal disease, Meredith Cole transformed her experience into a powerful message of hope and awareness. She is now the author of I See You. Good morning to you, Meredith.
Hi, good morning.
Great to have you on. So take us back
Thank
to
you.
when you first lost your sight as a teenager. What was that like?
It was horrible. But I think that because it happened so fast, I had no choice to kind of think, and I just had to kind of accept what was happening. And I didn't look back. I just had to learn how to see with what I had. And because I kept losing it so quickly, I have a very rare hereditary disease, and the only way to save my vision was to laser it at the time. And when you lasered it, you would remove the vision. So every time that I would have a hemorrhage in the back of my eye, I would get it lasered, helping to preserve my vision. But at the same time, it was leaving permanent damage. So it was very traumatic. It was something that I didn't, it happened in one day I could see, the next minute I couldn't. So it was it was a process, that's for sure.
So are you 100% blind or are you legally blind? What level of
Nope.
blindness do you have now?
So I'm not legally blind. I can drive. I don't have any vision out of my left eye. I don't have central vision out of my left eye. I have peripheral. And I have limited vision in my right eye. But because I have peripheral vision, but when both eyes are opened, I can actually see, which is crazy. I've trained myself to kind of find different movements. I'm an artist, so I have always been drawn to abstract and shapes and things like that. So when I lost my vision, I said, okay, I have two choices here. I can either just deal with it, or I can kind of relearn how to see. And so that's kind of what I did. I used my creativity to help me get through. And
So
it
your
was
brain
about,
subs if I'm sorry to
yeah,
step on you, Meredith. So
that's
your
okay.
brain sort of substitutes and fills in gaps so you kind of create a picture from the bits and
Yes,
pieces that you could still see. That's
correct.
unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. So
Yeah.
essential though,
Yeah.
because as an artist, you need to, I know in your brain you could see things, but you need to see how it comes out on a canvas or depending on the type of art
Yeah.
you do, right?
It's true. So I learned very early on to trust my hands because they could see before my vision could. So as an artist, when I had some, I was drawing on, paper or canvas, my hands knew how to move. And then from that, I went to art school, and I'm a graphic designer now. And I have been doing this for a long time. It's in about 25 years. It's who I am at this point. So graphic design seemed to be the next or the closest thing I needed, because it's about measurements and dimension and depth and all that kind of stuff. Most of my clients do not know that I have limited vision. The reason I wrote the book is because I wanted to bring awareness to other people when they face challenges that just happen overnight, how to get through them and to kind of see your life differently.
That's phenomenal, and I kind of experienced little bits of this with my mother and father. My mother had a hemorrhagic
Mm-hmm.
stroke and lost her peripheral vision in her left eye,
Oh, wow.
but she too,
Mm-hmm.
she moves her head and moves her eyes to kind of fill that gap on the left side so
Yes.
she can see.
Yes.
And my dad has retinopathy, I guess it is, so he can't
Mm-hmm.
see out of his left eye at all, and he can see blotchy with his right eye.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he
Yeah.
tries to compensate. So when you come close, I notice he moves to try to fill in the bits and pieces. It's relatively new for him. So,
Mm-hmm.
whereas my mother's been 11 years, but just
Mm-hmm.
observing that, I totally understand what you're talking about because I get it, seeing
Yes.
it with my
Mm-hmm.
parents. So when
Mm-hmm.
you wrote "I See You," that was really, I would imagine, a bit of a passion work of yours to communicate what's going on
Yes.
and what vision is about. So how long did it take you to write that?
So it's been a long time in the making. It had very many different titles as a graphic designer, and I have my own graphic design business. My clients would always say that I would became their creative therapist, and I was like, oh, I like this because I can see different things or create logos, and I see them a little differently. So the book has been a long time in the making, and it was basically about helping. And then finally in January, the voice in my head was like, you need to do this. You have something, you want to help people. The back end of this has always been helping. Even as a designer, I help nonprofits, I help people, I have a skill set. It's my pleasure to help them. But this is my own personal branding that I really wanted to do. So I dove in January 1st this year, and my birthday was in March, and I said, all right, I'm going to dive in and I'm going to give this to myself as my birthday present. And
Nice.
I went back to a stage where I kind of forgot everything. I didn't tell anyone I was writing the book. Nobody, which is crazy because I have a lot of amazing people that I talk to on daily. But I wanted it to be, I had to dive in to remember how vulnerable I was. And so once I realized I had to add that vulnerable piece to the book, everything started flowing. And the creativity came out, and I became that 13-year-old scared girl again. And I'm really proud of it. I think that it can help people. And that's how I like to live my life, is I truly like to help. So if somebody can kind of see their situation differently, then the book is a success. And I want to partner with different organizations and give, portion of the proceeds to the book, and just kind of build awareness.
I love it. I love it. Meredith, what's a
Thank
website
you.
for people to get the book or read more about it?
So it's currently on Amazon. You could look under I See You by Meredith Cole, or the website is Cole Creations, and you'll be able to see the I See You link to the book and to find out a little bit about the backstory.
I love it. And it's Meredith Cole with a K, K-O-L-E, and the
Meredith
book I
Cole,
See
yep.
You, not right? And it's not the letter C, it's I-S-E-E, I See You, Meredith
Yeah.
Cole. What a wonderful story. Not the tragedy, but the triumph later of how you've lived your life. And just for people to understand, like what's behind me right now, that was designed by a graphic design artist like Meredith. That's
Yeah.
what these folks do. But so when you look at the intricacy of this and to know that that's what your brain comes up with, and then you're able to transform that onto writing or onto paper, I should say, or onto
Yeah.
computers. That to me right there is a miracle that anyone could do it, let
Thank
alone
you.
somebody who now has vision challenges. Thank you for doing
Yeah.
what you do and for sharing your amazing story with us,
Thank
Meredith.
you so
We
much for
appreciate
having
you.
me. Thank you.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Thank you again. Have a great day, Meredith. What a story. That's amazing. Great stories today. 58 minutes past the hour for those watching on LACA on the West Coast. Stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching on New Jersey, we'll be right back with live news, traffic, weather, and opinion. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Have a great day. morning. It is 8:01, Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. Yes, it is Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. Good morning and welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. That's the soundtrack of my brain, by the way, that you just heard coming out. I'm Ken Rosato, and we will take your calls at 888-658-0234. Sunny, warm, windy today after a few morning showers that we had. Highs mid-80s. Let's go straight to the tortilla chip himself, meteorologist Mike Favetta, with the full Garden State forecast. We got to change that ring on your phone, Mike. You have to change it to
that. Just for today. Just for today. That's the soundtrack of the house. Just pure craziness, 24/7. You know, who's up, who's down, 2 a.m., come in bed. It's just it's a nut house. It's a nut house. But yes, the mariachi bands I'm sure will be playing all afternoon long at all of the places in New Jersey. You know, as the tequila is flowing. Now with temperatures today warming into the already upper 60s, we will see a very warm finish to the day. Feeling lovely, feeling great for some outdoor dining. If you thought yesterday was warm, today is even warmer. Anywhere from 7 to 11 degrees warmer. Look at that, 14 degrees warmer than this time yesterday over in Medford. And you can thank that gusty southwesterly wind that's pushing in some very warm air right now. Also a bit breezy with those 28-mile-per-hour winds right now down in South Jersey. Our forecast today is nice and clear, with the exception of a little passing sprinkle that just worked its way through within the last hour up toward the northeastern section of New Jersey through Bergen County. That has since moved on by, and now temperature is really warming. Look at that, 85 degrees up in Hackensack and Newark, 82 in Camden, 78 in Medford. But down the shore at the coast, still chilly with that ocean temperature, only 49 degrees, so it makes the beaches feel like the 50s. Tomorrow afternoon is when we see those showers come in. They may happen as soon as just after the morning rush, lasting right through the evening rush into early Thursday morning, but eventually clearing in northern New Jersey tomorrow afternoon or rather Thursday afternoon, before we see those clouds hang out in southern New Jersey, and then we get another round of rain by Thursday night. Friday looks clear, but much cooler. I mean, we're going to drop about 30 degrees in the next few days, feeling rather chilly to round out the work week, even though the sun returns, bringing back some cooler temperatures by then, Ken.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. I just can't believe the roller coaster. Mid-80s, then
Yeah.
60s, and overnight lows in the 40s again after being, I mean, tonight's overnight low is going to be hotter than the high later in the week. Do I have that
True.
right?
That is correct.
Thank you. See that? I actually pay
Welcome to New
attention.
Jersey.
Bill Evans used to say I never paid attention to the forecast. He used to test me and say, "All right, Ken, what did I say the high was going to be today? Huh? Be like, I'm over here doing news, dude." He was like, the people didn't realize our studios were like 40 feet. You remember, you were there.
Yeah,
40 feet from the weather center to the desk. I couldn't even, you literally could only hear through your ear. Right. You could only hear from the earpiece because he was so far away. He was talking in that direction. Anyway, the soundtrack of my mind. Thank you, sir. We will check back. Appreciate you as always. It is 61 degrees right now in Trenton. It is 56 in northern New Jersey. And it is, like Mike said, going to get up to the mid-80s today. In terms of traffic, we have a crash now on the Turnpike, outer roadway northbound, south of interchange 13. All lanes open, vehicles off to the left shoulder. That's the good news there. There's another incident, a crash on I-78 local lanes westbound by exit 49. The left shoulder and left lane are currently closed. The Hudson River crossings, Lincoln and Holland, are both 30 to 35. GWB upper and lower stopped. There was an earlier accident on the Turnpike. Let's see. On the GWB. It was the upper level. So look at that. It's still, the upper level's on the right. So you can see it's still not moving or barely crawling. The lower level, not much better. So that's now, they're telling us 45 to 60 minutes in by the GWB. Just a mess. It is 8:05 right now, and all schools had to be closed in Belleville yesterday, and the township declared a state of emergency as a massive 12-alarm warehouse fire spread to several buildings and forced evacuations for blocks. It happened on Sunday afternoon, by the way. That's when the fire started at a commercial mattress warehouse. Quickly grew into a 12-alarm emergency. At least 4 buildings in the complex were engulfed in flames as the fire just grew and grew, and conditions only worsened because there was such strong winds. So by yesterday morning, they had to close all the schools in the area. That part of town is where all the schools are because the smoke was so dense, and they were worried about the winds fueling the fires and possibly making them spread. So several buildings ended up collapsing as thick black smoke could be seen for miles. Apparently, there were oxygen and helium tanks stored in the building, so they were worried there would be explosions. That did not happen, fortunately. To make matters worse, there was low water pressure in the fire hydrants, making an already difficult firefighting job even harder. Firefighters from Bloomfield, Orange, Lyndhurst, Newark all provided mutual aid. Homes and businesses in the area were left without power or water. The good news is no one was severely hurt. One firefighter, I believe, hurt his elbow, but he was being treated. It wasn't a major injury. When we say that, we don't want to make light of an injury like that, but these firefighters are tough as bricks. So when they have I hurt my elbow. My uncle was a firefighter, so he used to say, so what? I broke my arm in 3 places. Who cares? That was his attitude. But firefighters put it all on the line for us, so we thank them for what they did. What a fire to fight, man! Just thankfully, no one else was hurt or killed. It is 7 minutes after 8. Mother's Day is right around the corner. If you are looking for a gift that is both meaningful and impactful, the next story is for you. Let's Talk Women's Health and Wellness is celebrating its supporters in partnership with London Jewelers Short Hills, a family-owned business marking their 100-year anniversary in 2026. Together, they're shining a light on community connection and women's health advocacy. On New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo has more.
This Mother's Day, it's about more than just giving a gift. It's about giving back. Let's Talk Women's Health and Wellness has partnered with London Jewelers on a special bracelet that supports their mission while honoring the women who mean the most to us. Joining me now is John Rudinsky, Sales Associate at London Jewelers Short Hills. Hello, John.
Hello, Lisa. How are you?
John, let's start with the partnership. How did the collaboration between Let's Talk and London Jewelers come to be?
Well, Deb Bofato, who's the organization lead, and I have been working with each other for almost 40 years. And throughout my time here at the Short Hills area, we've grown together collectively. And I'm well aware of her past tributes and what she's done with various charities, and now what she's doing with Let's Talk. It was a great opportunity for both of us to collaborate and get both our names out there. Having said that, the London Jewelers family has been in existence for the last 100 years, and they do a lot of charitable events at all of our stores. Being that this is our first New Jersey location, we felt it was very important to the immediate community to enhance the charity that I feel so strong about, and it's so important to the London community family.
100 years is quite the accomplishment. How does this initiative reflect your company's legacy and values?
It's all in sync. The company is very generous and beneficial, working with a lot of organizations, with various pet charities, different organizations in the Hamptons, and now with Short Hills being a new important store to the London family. We want to spread the word and wealth and the name recognition of everything that we can do that's out there and immediate and available. When Let's Talk was approached by us and we talked with them, we felt this was a win-win situation for all.
It really was. Let's talk about the bracelet itself because it is stunning. Tell us the inspiration behind it and what does it represent?
So when we sat down with Deb Bofato and our collaborative team, we decided that we wanted to make a piece of jewelry that was attainable and approachable and reachable. So we did a silk corded bracelet that's done in 14 karat gold with diamonds and sterling silver with a generous give back to Let's Talk. The message is 2 women's boobs with a little heart on the one side and the Let's Talk logo on the back, reflecting women's health initiatives that Let's Talk is all about.
John, the bracelets come in 3 different variations. What are they?
Sterling silver, which is available for $250, 14 karat gold, which is available for $1,500, and 14 karat gold with diamonds, which is available for $2,000 on a pink silk cord as displayed.
And where does all of that money go towards?
Well, the proceeds goes back to Let's Talk. It's a very generous contribution, which is high as much as 50% depending on the item.
And for anybody watching this morning and still searching for that perfect Mother's Day gift, why is this one such a meaningful choice?
It's women's health initiatives, and of course the focus being on breast cancer, but it's more than that. It's about everything that this organization stands for in terms of health, but what it is that they do for the people that are involved. I had the fortunate pleasure of spending the day with them several months ago at the New Jersey PAC Center for the day, and people were very inspired. I was inspired. Customers came to purchase the bracelet because they want to remember how inspiring the day was to them. So to me, it was full circle. And I think it's something that, unfortunately, cancer has touched everybody in our lives. So why not bring it to full, light and give it, some attention in a respectful way and a meaningful way.
Absolutely. Where can people purchase the bracelet and be part of this very important initiative?
You can definitely purchase the bracelet on Let's Talk, their website. It'll be listed. And of course, you can contact the London Jewelers in Short Hills. I'll be more than happy to take your order and place the order for them. Doing it through the charity, of course, you get the benefit of the tax. So I would say if you want to go through Let's Talk, that would be the preferred method. But we have them here for your viewing pleasure.
John, thank you so much. This is a big week for London Jewelers. So everyone go out to Short Hills Mall and pick up one of these very important bracelets. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Lisa. My pleasure.
Thank you to Lisa and John. As New Jersey's film industry continues to grow, so does the New Jersey Film Expo, now held every year. The event brings together filmmakers, creators, and industry professionals from across the state. On New Jersey, Sean Thrunk has more.
There were lights, cameras, and action at the Izod Center as it hosted the second annual New Jersey Film Expo.
New Jersey is open for film business.
As a way of bringing New Jersey's blossoming film community together, the free event had dozens of exhibitors, not just from all over the state, but all over the industry.
We're the part of the industry that no one really thinks about as much. We provide all the building materials for the construction team to build all the sets off of, whether it's laying a floor, building your walls, anything you may need to build that set, we're here to supply you with.
If you are a set decorator and you need any sort of vintage props for film or commercial or TV show you are shooting, we could definitely accommodate that for you.
We're a full-service video assist rental company, and we also do live streaming from set. And I just looked at it as a great opportunity to meet people who are in the industry who are trying to create forward motion in the film industry here in New Jersey. And it's blowing up.
The expo was not only a way to show filmmakers what New Jersey film currently is, but what it can be.
It's so fun, and it's also exhilarating to know that I want to also be a part of something that's going to help grow the film industry in New Jersey, because I know that LA and New York have really big production studios.
At first I was a little concerned about the tax incentive and whether that would be necessarily good for indie film. I feel like I'm getting more confident in it as time passes, and I'm like, okay, no, they are looking out for everyone, you know what I mean? It's like they know what they're doing. And I feel very reassured being here today.
What you use in the typical environment in LA, it was you could do that here in Jersey. We have all of that here. So seeing everything start to bloom in Jersey, for me is finally, as a Jersey resident, we've had it. It doesn't always have to be New York. We're right here. We're here. We're between here and Philadelphia. We're here.
For some filmmakers, their journeys begin at the state's colleges and universities.
The good thing about having all these productions come to Montclair, especially with the change of the tax incentive and New Jersey, it's that we're a university first and foremost, so we get to give students the first-hand opportunity to see how these productions come to life.
Because now we have accessibility to so many more bigger studios that are now looking for people, and it gives students that are doing film that or also just want to be in film in general, it gives them a spark of inspiration that I have a way in there, I can do it. And that's what I'm also looking for myself, I can be a part of something great.
Filmmaking as we know it began in New Jersey, and it seems like it has a warm welcome back home. For On New Jersey, I'm Sean Thrunk.
Thank you, Sean. 8:15. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 8:18, and meteorologist Mike Favetta has a sunny forecast for you. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you, Ken. A beautifully sunny forecast today. Great day to get outside, maybe do some work around the house, for instance. Redoing the deck over here. So plenty of great weather to enjoy with the warm sunshine at your back. Temperatures warming well into the 80s today. Now, this is away from the shore. You go toward the coast and temperatures will feel a little bit cooler thanks to a southerly breeze, dropping that beach temperature down into the 70s and then the 60s as far as the afternoon is concerned. So much cooler by the end of the day, but loads of clear sky to even wrap up this afternoon. All these showers you see out to the west, they arrive tomorrow. Probably around this time tomorrow, the first sprinkles coming down, and then really getting going after the morning rush. So after a day in the 80s, we'll enjoy all of that sunshine right through this evening, and then tomorrow, there's that rain. Gets going later tomorrow morning after the morning rush, and then lingers through the evening time frame with some of those showers, even as early as Thursday morning. Clouds hanging low Thursday morning, southern New Jersey, and then spreading back across the state by Thursday evening. Friday, clear, but much cooler. We'll be in the 60s with that sunshine most of the day, so a much chillier feel thanks to a wind off of a 49-degree Atlantic Ocean. Very cool, and that's why it'll feel so cool even into this weekend with the clouds around for Mother's Day morning. I think we're dry for Sunday morning, and then we see the rain return later on that evening into Monday. Tuesday clears out nicely, stays nice and dry. Wednesday has a shot of some wet weather, and then that should clear out for a dry Thursday as well. But the next 7 to 10 days are a little bit cooler than usual, especially with this weekend only getting to a high of 68 on Saturday, but we ultimately warm on Mother's Day, Ken, to 74.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's a temperature 55 degrees now, northern New Jersey, 61 degrees in Trenton. It is 54 in Cape May and 58 in Vineland. 8:20 right now as New Jersey continues to grapple with affordability challenges. There's growing attention to the role of the state's legal environment and the role that it plays in driving up costs for both families and businesses. Many argue that excessive litigation is contributing to higher prices across the economy. Elissa Frank is president of the New Jersey Civil Justice Institute. We say good morning to you, Elissa.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you so much for having me.
It's wonderful having you on. So let's talk about the New Jersey Civil Justice Institute's mission first.
Of course. So NJCJI is what we like to call it, and we work to create and advocate for a more predictable, fair, and affordable civil justice system in New Jersey. So what that means is any sort of case that's going through a lawsuit or in front of a judge, that's what we want to make sure is predictable, fair, and affordable for everybody.
And that's part of the issue, right? Is because we have a lot of laws, and on the surface, it looks like, oh, the more laws we have, the better. We clarify everything, but sometimes the nitpicky little tiny laws could end up backfiring, right? Because it ends up costing a lot of money and making things more challenging. Talk about that.
Exactly. So what we're seeing, especially in Trenton, is something that's called a private right of action. And this is a provision that will appear in our legislation. What this does is it will provide the ability for private lawyers to sue people, businesses, whatever may have you, for whatever it might be that's being advocated for in that law. So what happens is this normalizes litigation and makes more of an emphasis to be able to have people sue, which we don't really want to have that. Of course, we want to be able to promote fair lawsuits where somebody does have a legitimate cause of action. But when we're opening these private rights up to everybody who might not legitimately have a case, it does become costly. And New Jerseyans are feeling the emphasis of this.
I know there are laws in a number of states, including New Jersey, called the anti-SLAPP law. Being in media, we always are concerned about that. Anti-SLAPP in about, I guess it's about 15 states, prevents, like if we do a story on a deli that has, say, bad meat, it prevents the deli from suing us frivolously for covering the story. But on the flip side, my question is, and I have like 9 attorneys in the family, and we have this debate at Thanksgiving all the time. You'd appreciate this. I say, but why should, if I'm the deli owner, Why should like my rights be my constitutional right to sue for defamation or whatever? Why should that be in any way infringed because they're a member of the media? To me, that always came up in my mind.
Right, exactly. So basically, what private rights of actions do is they generate high value lawsuits for minor violations. So, kind of what you're talking about here. So, even when the alleged violation didn't actually harm anybody, or the violation might have not actually occurred, you still have that ability to sue. And that's what's problematic. So, when we're talking about how this impacts households, there's been a study that was conducted by the Institute for Legal Reform, which is a part of the United States Chamber of Commerce, that estimated that New Jersey households pay over $5,000 each year due to excessive litigation.
Oh. Does that put us among the highest in the country? That must.
It does. So, unfortunately, this does make New Jersey an outlier, and this can be attributed to those private rights of action that we see in these lawsuits. And of course, attorney advertising. I know we could joke about this, but when you're
Yeah,
driving down
no,
the
you're
New
right.
Jersey Turnpike, you do
Yeah.
see all of those lawyer billboards that line the turnpike. So, what this does that's problematic is it excessive advertising normalizes litigation for minor damages, kind of like you were talking about, Ken. And it then allows, by way of the private rights of action, lawyers to recruit higher volumes of plaintiffs. So then attorneys are able to turn every fender bender into a high value case, earning themselves a higher payday, while liability costs get passed on to consumers, like we were talking about just before. So that's why you're seeing costs rising for everything.
Hey, listen, I live part-time in Florida and part-time here. And when I'm in Florida, as bad as it is here, the commercials are incessant about,
Wow.
yeah, I was just walking across the street and a car just drove past me and my lawyer got me, ching, $25,000. It's done in
Right.
such a cartoon-esque, literally like a, and I think people look at it as money from heaven, forgetting that that means when you go to get your car insured, that money is the reason why your car insurance is suddenly $9,000 a year is because of that. Am I wrong?
Exactly, you hit the nail over the head, Ken. And you know what it also does is kind of back to your example that you were giving about small businesses. So small businesses, when expanded liability happens, small businesses are then vulnerable to unnecessary and expensive lawsuits. Small businesses make up the backbone of our economy in New Jersey. So when they are not able to defend these lawsuits, or they have to spend a huge amount of their budget money to be able to defend these lawsuits, they're forced to raise prices or lay off staff just to stay afloat. And we don't really want to see this happen, of course, because small businesses are an important part of our community here in New Jersey. We want to see them succeed.
So, what are some of the reforms in our last minute or so? What are some of the reforms that New Jersey can do then?
Of course. So, Governor Sherrill and Trenton lawmakers, this is a message for you. We're calling on them to listen to the concerns of New Jersey families and the business community. So, nearly 90% of consumers agree that reducing unnecessary litigation will help control costs. This was a survey conducted by Big Eye. Reforming our civil justice system will rein in these excessive litigation costs and reduce taxpayer expenses.
Good deal. Well, we could talk to you for hours about this. I would love to please have you back on. You so eloquently put it all together for us, Elissa Frank. What is your website, by the way?
We are njcji.org. So take a look at us and happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Fantastic. Elissa Frank, president of the New Jersey Civil Justice Institute, NJCJI. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Thank you. It is now 57 degrees northern New Jersey, 61 in Trenton at 8:28. When we come back, George Street Playhouse and the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center is preparing for its annual gala tomorrow night, or gala, depending on where you're from. We'll have the details, and our phone lines are open at 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2. Very good morning to you. 55 degrees northern New Jersey, 61 in Trenton. It is 52 now in Cape May from that little chilly ocean breeze. I'm Ken Rosato on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, Cinco de Mayo at 8:30. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Sunny today, warm, windy, highs mid-80s, but don't get used to it. Nope. We're going to cool off again tomorrow. Here comes the rain again. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a full Garden State forecast. Hey, Mike, I should write a song like that. Here
You
comes the rain
could.
again.
You could.
Yeah, I feel very eurythmic-y.
There's a lot of weather songs out there, and I'm sure you'll be singing some praises to the beautiful weather that'll be around today. Maybe not so much tomorrow. You should be singing in the rain tomorrow. There's another one for you. After so much sunny, dry weather, had some early morning clouds and showers in northeast New Jersey. Those have zipped on by, so we welcome the sun for this afternoon and highs in the 80s away from the shore. However, if you find yourself along a south-facing beach south of Atlantic City, you'll only be in the 60s today with that very gusty wind off of a very chilly ocean. Winds have calmed down a little bit, but they're still gusty into this afternoon. 30-mile-per-hour gusts at the shore, coming off of a very chilly ocean, going up to gale force by the end of the day. Tomorrow, not as breezy, but the wind coming in off of the water, making it feel very chilly by comparison. And then as the wind shifts to blow from the north and west, it dries out for Thursday with some sunshine, and that means a return to the pollen. So we get a break from the pollen tomorrow, but it's still sky high today with the very high levels of trees and weeds. You feel it kind of sticking to your eyeballs, and that's the case going into this afternoon, with highs today above average, getting up into the 70s. So with the longer daylight hours now, sunset closer to 8 p.m., we get those nice warm evenings, and then it's all about the rain. Look at that. High chances of rain tomorrow. Lower by Friday, but then again, a little bit for Saturday later in the afternoon, and then Sunday cools off again with low chances of wet weather, probably arriving after Mother's Day brunch if you're spending the day with mom. So with a little bit of wet weather coming in later on tomorrow morning, it lasts until Thursday morning, then dries out briefly, and then we have another round of showers for Thursday afternoon as the whole system pushes on through. Friday looks to be dry, but cooler, markedly cooler. It'll only feel like the 60s, and then we have another round of rain that comes in later Saturday afternoon. So the 7-day forecast, like Ken was mentioning, kind of has this roller coaster effect. We're starting off warm, very warm in fact, feeling like June rather than May, and then sliding back with the cooler weather for the rest of the week with some showers tomorrow, and then overnight lows down in the 40s throughout the weekend. I think even into next week, it takes time to rebound back into the 70s with the beach temperatures at the ocean a little bit cooler this weekend with the sun, Ken.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I was just talking with Pam about her son and daughter and colleges, and it as we were bringing you back on camera, I said, Where's your son thinking about going to college?" And she mentioned a Canadian college, and it dawned on me at that moment they're hockey fans. So, am
That's
I right,
right.
Pam? Is this the reason?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be a hockey
Oh,
player. Her son
wow.
is talk about the most well-rounded kids ever, ever. Pam's kids are like the most rounded. I mean, super smart and all these other skills, as I'm sure your boys are going to be. Your boys are going to be, I can imagine both your boys on a football team. Like, I just
I'm
see that. Poor
already,
Mike is going to be at
already,
home.
already, yes, battling each other,
Mike and
including me.
Steph, Mike and Steph will have their little cup of espresso with their little biscotti, and they'll be saying like, oh my God, these kids are gonna break their arms." What I could just see it. I know. All right, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. It is what is it? 57 degrees out northern New Jersey, 61 in Trenton. In terms of traffic, we have a crash reported on the Jersey Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound south of the Goethals Bridge exit in Linden. All lanes open, vehicles on the left shoulder, but nonetheless, just mentioning as you pass by, you might see that. We have a bit of a slowdown into the Hudson River crossings, all three giving us some trouble today. Right now, the Hudson River, the Holland Tunnel approach, I should say, from 139. This is from the Turnpike. You could see just 4 lanes there, jamming traffic, 5 lanes, actually, if you count. The lane all the way to the right above the 888, that actually gets you off into local streets in Jersey City, as I am well aware. I took that yesterday. But it is a lot of traffic. It's going to be a solid 40-minute ride into Manhattan and via the Holland Tunnel. Lincoln Tunnel right now, 495 approach, much better than that, about 25 minutes in. GWB upper and lower levels just jamming today, 45 minutes in right now. That's from an earlier crash mid-span on the upper level. The damage is done, though, still costing you that amount of time into Manhattan. It is 8:35, and as we talk and continue our talk, one of the biggest nights of the year for arts in the state of New Jersey, George Street Playhouse in the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center is all set for its annual gala tomorrow night at the Catherine Lombardi restaurant, celebrating leaders in theater in the community and raising funds to support productions and education programs. They do real world-class productions at this place. Edgar Herrera is the executive director of George Street Playhouse with us this morning. We say good morning to you, Edgar.
Hi, Ken. Good morning. It's great to be here.
It's nice to have you on, and you guys are doing it's a big celebration because you're not only going to have the dinner, then afterward you're going to have like a cabaret performance and awards, and if this is a big evening.
It is the most important fundraiser of the year for us. We start with a great dinner, and then we move into the theater, MB New Brunswick Performing Arts Center, for a cabaret performance.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And you're in the perfect location, New Brunswick, because you're close to everything. I mean, that is literally the epicenter. If people want to come down from New York, they want to come up from Philadelphia, the people in the Princeton area, I know, and you have it all right there. And of course, you're not too far from Trenton. You are literally the epicenter of New Jersey. And you're honoring some leaders tomorrow night. Talk about them.
Yeah, we're honoring three very important people here. So Tom Gorey is a Johnson & Johnson former executive. He's also an arts advocate. And he just he has got great impact in the community. We also are honoring Emily Mann, who probably is one of the most important playwrights of the last 20 decades or 20 years. She has literally shaped theater, American theater, and she ran the McCarter Theater for many, many years. She has directed with us here. And also we are honoring Roberto Muniz, who's the CEO of Parker Health Group, who provide services all around Jersey for older adults. So three leaders, the way I see it, we have three pillars that combine these three leaders: artistic quality, philanthropy, and just community impact.
And talk about this gala. It's not just a money fundraiser, but the proceeds directly support a lot. Talk about how the proceeds are distributed.
Well, as you know, running a theater it needs funds. Ticket sales only cover about 20% of all the costs that we need, that we incur. So this fundraiser is very, very important because, first of all, it closes the season. We are towards the end of the season. We want to close with energy, and we give the opportunity to patrons to come and buy a ticket and give money right there to support producing theater, to support education programs. And also we have a special fund now, the Deborah Bai and Kane Fund, that supports veterans, that supports scholarships, just supports access to the theater. Is very, very important for us to make sure that our theater performances are accessible to as many people as possible.
Hey, without the arts and theater, all New Jersey is a highway between Philadelphia and Manhattan. We need the arts are what and New Jersey is rich with arts. We're very fortunate to have performing arts centers like yours. George Street Playhouse is just so critically acclaimed. Without you, New Jersey is just, nothing. I mean, seriously, the arts are what make a region special. It elevates it above and beyond. And George Street Playhouse, you've had productions transfer beyond New Jersey. How does that success reflect the strength of local theater?
Well, what you're saying is very true. First of all, we produce world-class theater, and we take that very seriously. I mean, we think that the artistic quality is the most important. So you don't have to go to New York or to any other places to enjoy the best class, the best what the theater has to offer. And we produce musicals, straight plays, drama, I mean, you name it. But also it's important for us to provide tickets that are accessible. So if you go to the last production that we're having right now, you can buy tickets for as little as $10. And those are great seats. You don't have to sit in a bad seat. We all, we have all good seats. And then we have produced shows that have gone to Broadway. I can talk about, I don't know, Proof is one of those. It won Best Tony Award, and we have produced, I don't know, more than 10 that go there, and we are very proud of that because those productions are born here. We produce them here, and we get them ready to go out in the world.
And you're near, I mean, Rutgers University is near you. You provide that taste of the arts and theater for younger people who may never have had that introduction. And then they could, when the day comes that they could afford to go and spend $200 in Manhattan, whatever, but at least they've developed their taste. They know what kind of theater they like by having that introduction because of George Street. I mean, that's so essential. And education and community access, such a big part of the mission. Those programs really do make a difference, especially for those younger audiences, right?
Well, oh yeah, I mean, that's something that for us is, how do we cultivate the audiences of tomorrow, but also how do we cultivate the artists of tomorrow, and how do we provide opportunities? So we do have interns that come from the university to have real experience at a professional theater here. We also have classes for young adults, for older adults, for kids, if they want to learn how it feels, what it takes to be in front of a camera and act or on stage. We provide all of those. Yes.
Beautiful. Edgar, tell us a website for more information and for tickets.
So go to georgestreetplayhouse.org, and you can support us by buying a subscription. Just come and experience the theater here at New Brunswick Arts Center.
Que pasa una noche increíble. I hope it's a perfect night, my friend. No sé si sabe que mi madre viene de Argentina. So
wow,
anyway, that's a lot of people don't know I speak Spanish. But anyway, mom's side is from Argentina. I hope tomorrow night's gala, the annual gala, is phenomenal. Again, it's going to be held tomorrow evening, Catherine Lombardi Restaurant, great restaurant, by the way, to be followed by a star-studded cabaret and awards presentation. Edgar Herrera, Executive Director of George Street Playhouse. It is a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Thank you. It's coming up on 8:43. Sunny, warm, windy today. Highs in the mid-80s. Then we cool off again tomorrow with some rain. Meteorologist Mike Favetta's full Garden State forecast in a minute. We're taking your calls too at 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Ken Rosato at 8:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Sunshine, warm, windy today. You're going to think, wow, summer's here. Highs in the mid-80s. Not so much, because we cool off again tomorrow with some rain, damp, dank. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ken. Let's talk rain, right? Because we need some of it. We've been dry here across New Jersey, and with the forecast amount that's coming for later tonight into tomorrow, could be upwards of half an inch across most of the state. Maybe that western corner of New Jersey up to an inch where it's shaded in green. That's some good news, because with the drought that continues across New Jersey, it's not severe, but we're abnormally dry with about a half inch to a 1 inch rainfall deficit. This kind of dry period through the month of April didn't bring much in the way of April showers, so a severe drought down across the extreme southern part of New Jersey, where, again, a lot of our agriculture comes from, kind of the breadbasket of the state, with all of the farms down across southern New Jersey. We need a little bit more water down there. But for today, we keep it dry. Temperatures warming into the mid-80s across northern New Jersey, 85 in Hackensack. That's more reminiscent of June rather than May, but we get a little throwback to some wet weather coming through the next 2 weeks. All of the East Coast experiencing that abnormally wet condition right through the end of, say, next week, and then cooler than average weather through the middle of May for most of the East Coast. You have to head out west to enjoy that warm up. Speaking of the warmth, well, we get one day today that has highs in the 80s. Then the rain comes in tomorrow and cools us down for the rest of the week. Temperatures in the 60s into this weekend, warming back to 74 on Mother's Day, and holding just slightly below average into Monday and Tuesday. But that cooler trend keeps temperatures, at least in moderation, right through the weekend down the shore as well. Ocean temperatures still in the 40s. We had so much cold weather this winter. It's going to take some time for things to warm up down the shore. About 5 degrees cooler than at 5 to 10, 5 degrees C, 10 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than usual this time of year.
All right. So basically by August, we should be warmed up. In September, we have a cool down. I get it. Pam is very happy about that. But thank you very much, sir. Yeah, she said, yeah, hockey Pam. That's it. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Go take care of the babies. Whew. 2 little ones, 16 months apart. That's a lot of a big old handful, but cutie kids. It is now 57 degrees northern New Jersey, 61 degrees in Trenton. It's 55 down the shore in Cape May, and 56 degrees in Vineland. It is 8:48 right now. And just a quickie, couple of notes of traffic. We have a crash with injuries, 1 and 9 truck route northbound, 440 in Jersey City. 2 left lanes closed out of 3, causing a lot of traffic now in 1 and 9. It was on that yesterday too. We have some police department activity on 440 northbound by the 1 and 9 truck route, Communipaw Avenue, Jersey City. Ramp lane is closed. Don't know if that's connected to the other, because that's not too far away from the other issue. It may very well be causing residual problems. And now this is a problem on the New Jersey Turnpike, just popped up. Debris on the Turnpike Eastern Spur southbound, north of 15W, which is I-280 Kearney. All lanes open. It's tire debris in the lanes. So I guess a truck might have blown a tire, and you get the shredded rubber through the lane. So people are kind of swerving to avoid that. Just be careful. Your Hudson River crossings have been a mess all morning. Lincoln Tunnel is now 35 to 40. Holland is 40 minutes. This is 139 going from the Turnpike to the Holland Tunnel. Very slow, heavy traffic. And then your GWB upper and lower levels, 80-95 approach has been a mess all day. 45 minutes, upper level on the right, lower level on the left. And now, a segment from our friends at AARP New Jersey. All right, so we started talking about it a second ago, and property taxes certainly remain one of the biggest financial burdens for a lot of people who live in New Jersey, especially if you're older and you have to stay in your homes and you're on a fixed income. Programs like Stay NJ, along with Anchor and the Senior Freeze, are designed to ease that pressure. But understanding how they work and who benefits can be very confusing. AARP has been advocating for stronger, more accessible relief and for policies that truly meet the needs of residents. And joining us now to break it all down, Katie Squires, Associate State Director of Advocacy at AARP, and Robert Rashkes, who is an AARP advocacy volunteer who has experienced this issue firsthand. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
You bet. Katie, what property tax relief programs are currently available in New Jersey, and how do they work together for residents?
Well, you listed them, Ken. There's the Senior Freeze, there's Stay New Jersey, and there's Anchor. And what a great recent change that happened was making it a consolidated application so that people just have to fill out one application. It's the blue book that folks get in the mail, and the rest of the information is figured out for them.
Yeah, and talk about the impact that programs like Stay NJ have and what kind of relief homeowners can realistically expect. Because for a lot of folks on fixed income, even if it's a few $1,000s, it could make or break whether they can stay in New Jersey in retirement.
Absolutely. And we are hearing that in the surveys we've run. We're hearing that from people as young as pre-retirement 50 to 64, that they're making decisions whether they're going to be able to stay in the state or not based on property taxes. About 50% of the people we surveyed said they seriously consider leaving New Jersey. And of those people, 80% said property taxes were a driving factor. So the thousands of dollars do add up. If you're on a fixed income, $1,000 coming your way makes a huge difference, especially with property tax bills averaging north of $10,000. And as Robert will talk about, in other communities, it's well above that 10,000 figure.
And you're looking at states like Florida right now that have no state income tax, and they're talking about abolishing their property tax. So if you're on a fixed income, how does New Jersey compete against something like that? And Robert, on a personal level, what does property tax relief mean to you and your ability to stay in your home right here in the beautiful Garden State?
Well, it's very important because last year we had a property tax revaluation in West Orange, and the new average property tax bill is $16,000 per person. My taxes went up $3,000, and we had to pay the $3,000 increase in the last 2 quarters of the year. So all of a sudden, I have it's like sticker shock, and luckily at that point, I start getting checks from my from the blue booklet I filed last year, and that made the difference from depleting my checking account.
Oh, I mean, it's not like you're on a fixed income at this point. You're retired, you budget, and it's like they think that you're supposed to just get this money from the sky. You recently wrote an op-ed about Stay NJ, Robert. What message were you hoping you could send to lawmakers and the public about this?
Well, the importance of keeping the promise. We're counting on the money that we wanted. We're looking to make sure that it's a promise, and we're relying on it because people are worried, people are scared. We at the township council meeting the other night, we heard a report of a senior in West Orange whose taxes went up $6,000 with the revaluation, and that person is working 3 jobs and is hanging on by a thread just to stay in West Orange. So it's very concerning. Everybody's asking, where's the blue books? And the West Orange Senior Services Department, they hold seminars bringing in the state treasury people, and it's very well attended. Everybody shows up because they need that property tax relief to stay here.
And all you want to do is enjoy your retirement. You shouldn't have to be stressing like this. Katie, talk about some of the biggest challenges that residents are facing when they try to access these programs.
Well, I think there's still a lack of awareness. We have been having some regular telephone town halls with the Treasury, and when we survey the callers, many of them still haven't heard of at least one of the 3 programs. So one of the benefits of all the programs being on one application is it's a natural way for people to hear about it. But we need to make sure that these programs continue. So every year, it's something that we at AARP are fighting for to make sure that relief is there for them.
And thank God for AARP for that. I full disclosure, I've been a member of AARP for 13 years. I love it and all that it offers. Just saying it, putting it out there. It's one of the best bargains out there for joining a group that really helps a lot. And Katie, as lawmakers work through the state budget, what should they be prioritizing when it comes to property tax relief?
We want to make sure that the promise for Stay New Jersey is maintained. We want to make sure that relief, especially the full $6,500 benefit, is there and that the program is maintained. People are counting on this money. The state budget timeline is very different than our household timeline. We typically don't budget middle of the year to middle of the year. We typically budget January to December. And so as folks are making their budgets for the year and they're trying to plan things out and they see these checks come in from Stay New Jersey and see what they're able to do, what they're able to stop putting off, for instance, what they're able to, medicines that they're able to purchase, food, higher groceries that they have to pay for, utilities, you name it. This is such a huge relief for folks. And so they want to be able to be sure that they can count on it.
All right. And Robert, from your perspective, and you kind of touched on it a little bit already, what are residents most concerned about right now when it comes to rising property taxes?
How are we going to pay for it? And can we stay in our homes and our communities that we love? And West Orange is an age-friendly community, and I want to be able to stay here and age in New Jersey. And it's difficult, and everybody has to figure out how we're going to do it. And these programs are vital.
Amen to that. I mean, here you've helped build New Jersey. You made New Jersey the great place it is for the next generation. And then basically it's like, okay, now you could leave. No, you want to enjoy your retirement. Robert, do you know of a website where people can learn more about eligibility and apply for the programs?
Well, I look forward to getting my form in the mail every year. And it says for more information, call 1-888-238-1233 to get your application for the property tax relief program.
There you go. And then Katie, is there also a website, Katie?
Yes, we have aarp.org/NJ resources that folks can head over there and find out more information about property tax relief and other help that's available across the state.
And I'm glad Robert also gave the 800 number, because a lot of especially older people, my mother would look at me and say, WW what? So the 800 number is very important also as an option. So I appreciate you both very much. Katie Squires, Associate State Director of Advocacy at AARP, and AARP Advocacy Volunteer Robert Rashkis. Thank you both for coming on this morning. Let's hope that this is dealt with so that our seniors can enjoy their retirement here in the beautiful Garden State. We appreciate you both.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken.
You bet. All right. It is 61 degrees in Trenton, 58 degrees northern New Jersey. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says sunny, warm, windy today, highs mid-80s. Then we cool off again tomorrow with rain. That is on New Jersey Mornings for your Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. Cinco de Mayo. Go do something fun today. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you could stream us at ONNJ.com, ONLACA.com, ONFLA.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And now we are streamed live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and Local Now. Enough options? We'll catch you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us. Till then, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.